Hi, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Katrina, and this is Cat and Budgets. It's been a hot while since I made a video. It seems like when I got back from vacation in Missouri, seeing my family, and then adjusting to going to work 2 hours earlier, I just kind of like dropped filming for a while. I really didn't know how it was going to fit in my schedule. So it is currently like 4:25 in the morning. This is literally the only time I have to make a video anymore. So that's why we're doing it so early. So if my brain is really slow, my apologies, because I'm just not quite awake yet. So we're just going to kind of go over November. We're just going to hop right back into our routine of reviewing our expenses for the month of November, and seeing where we were at, especially with spending vacation money, because a lot of that money was put in before the trip. So it was like sinking funds used. So it was an inflow of savings, and that kind of like throws everything off. So it makes it look like I'm spending a lot more money, and I have a hard time, like my brain has a hard time with that, which is why I use YNAB. So we're gonna switch gears. Okay, so looking at the month of November in this pretty little pie chart that we have here, bills is always like about the same. This month it was a lot, $222 more than it usually is, which I have to redo my YNAB categories because a lot of this is not actually bills, but like I count utilities under the bills category, and then babysitting because I need to pay their grandma for watching them so I can work. So I count that as a bill. And like if something were to happen where I would need to save up money, I obviously wouldn't still be paying that right away, but I'd still like to save that up as like part of our bills emergency fund. So that's why I have it like this right now. So my water bill was $222.06, and that gets lumped into my rent. So my rent payment was a little bit extra. And then the cell phone like was $45, $50 more than it usually is, because I'd gotten a new phone because my Apple phone would not let me log in with the email that I had been using. It kept like kicking me out, reverting me to an email that was deleted with Apple accounts. So I like couldn't update my phone. It wouldn't let me download stuff, and it just was a big headache more than anything. And Apple couldn't help me fix it. So I went back and got an Android. I was due for an upgrade in like a month anyway. So I had expenses put on the account from that, and I just kind of paid it all with using the emergency fund that I had, just so it was done and over with, and I didn't carry balance over into December. So for this category, it ended up being $2,783.32, which is a little bit over what I anticipated, but like I said, the cell phone charge kind of changed that. Variables is also our second biggest category, because this is where I put in food, my Thrive products when I pay for them out of pocket, because you do have the option to earn them for free with referring customers. It's just I haven't been working that hard to get customers, so I've just been paying out of pocket. There's so much going on sometimes that just kind of falls to the back burner, but I still love the products. I will not go a day without using them. And November, I forgot to cancel my auto shipment because for me, out of sight, out of mind, I reminded my boyfriend of his, and then I forgot to like change the date for mine. So I had a surprise shipment come in, which I'm really glad that I did, because I was about to run out of a lot of stuff. And then I would have been really sad and really, really, really tired from that point forward. But our food, we went about $65 over on food. A lot of that is because I brought vegetables and dip for Thanksgiving, and I bought too much for what was eaten. We had like 30 people come to Thanksgiving that my sister hosted, and then we just kind of needed, like, we went through things a little faster, and we started buying like gallons of milk again because we were going through so much milk all of a sudden again. And in my house, we kind of go back and forth because we do have like lactose sensitivities. So we don't drink a lot of milk usually. And then sometimes we have spurts where we use a gallon. So 865, that's actually not too bad over. I might just raise it back up to 900 and see how we do with that. But yeah, Chip, we spent $52. He's a jiggle boy. And that's just because we got him a coat and I think a couple other things for his ears. So it was just like maintenance things. Not really that he needed like food, but medical was $66.28. I had to get some cold medicine and stuff for the kids because they of course had a cold and we need a new thermometer. And then I had to get an antibiotic because I had a tick stuck in my shoulder. Right after we got back from Missouri, I noticed it. And so I had a tick in my shoulder for like maybe 2 weeks because we had gotten family pictures done, I think the beginning of November, like the end of October. And it was like before Halloween. So it was the end of October. And I noticed it like November 10th-ish. That spot had like, it looked different. So I had to go get that looked at. Eating out was 105.04. A lot of that is because a lot of the like vacation eating out was included in the vacation money. So that number was just strictly outside of the vacation for the month of November that came out of my checking account. Dakota did buy food for eating out a couple of times. Gas, I now have to pay for gas in my car for the entire month because I don't have a work car anymore. That was 118, which is right on par. I think I estimated like 130 just because I didn't know what gas prices were going to do. And then household was 188.66, and that is a little bit more than usual. Like I said, it just seemed like we needed a lot more often this month. And a lot of the household for November was like buying chargers and like updating that. I count that as household. Sinking funds was 507.04. And this counts money spent, I think. I'm still learning how like YNAB does it. Because money allocated is different than money spent. So this is spending by category. So for November, the actual cost for the vacation was $339.46. In October, I paid for the Airbnb itself, the little cottage we stayed in. So this was like gas, the food, stuff like that. So it was like a total of like over 700, I think, which is insane for 3 days. But that's what happens when you take 4 people and you drive. Christmas, I spent $53.53. I don't remember exactly what that was for. I know I did have to buy a pack of lights and a new timer because mine broke. So the timer wasn't working for the tree for it to turn on and off. So I got a digital one. Oh, and then I ordered an ornament for me and Dakota. And then car maintenance was $114.05. So not too bad. Quality of life is like the clothes, miscellaneous gifts, entertainment, hobbies, that kind of stuff. The biggest chunk was like, I call it biz upkeep, but it's just like little things to help me learn how to make different money. I have to pay like for a course that I'm still paying off. And then like my subscriptions for like vidIQ, Clipchamp, that kind of stuff, it all went in there. I'm trying to get that down a little bit more because it's just a lot out of pocket. My clothes was $114.70, and that's because I have to slowly replace all of my scrubs. When I lost the 20 pounds in the last like almost 2 years, I can't wear my large scrubs anymore. They're just so baggy, they hang off me, and they're not like fitted nicely, and so I don't feel like they're a good thing for me to wear. And they're just not comfortable, especially the pants. Like they're humongous, they fall down. The ties don't even hold them up anymore. That's how big they are on me. So I need to slowly replace them. So that's what I did. Gifts, this was just like a card. Oh, the parking was miscellaneous. And then gifts, I don't remember what, I think that was just like a card for somebody. Entertainment was 1948. I bought a couple of things for games on my phone. And then hobbies was yarn, I'm pretty sure, or fabric for my project that I gave to my cousin. I handmade a crochet elephant blanket, and it was like Grafghan kind of style. So it was a lot of color changes, a lot of yarn, and a lot of time. It took me from the very first time I started until finish a year. So it was a lot. I don't think I'll be doing one that big in a while. Subscriptions was 207.18. This is going down. I'm working on like slowly fine-tuning it. Like I don't have Chat GPT anymore. I deleted that. I hadn't been using it as much, so I just deleted the subscription. And then Xbox Game Pass went up, so I bumped it back down a level. So hopefully it doesn't mess with the kids' stuff, because $31.64 just seems ridiculous. But the big chunk of it is the gym membership, which I'm totally okay with. And then the last category is the children. 81.16 for their clothing, and that's just because we have to slowly replace Jackson's clothes. He went suddenly from a size 12 to needing size 14-16, and so we have to like replace all of his stuff. And so we're just doing that in increments with each paycheck. And then Bentley needed pajama pants, so I bought him 2 pairs of that. And then entertainment was $34.42, and that I think was just like buying their scratch pads that they got at the Iowa truck stop for vacation. So we haven't been doing a whole lot. Like we just got a crap ton of snow last weekend that I had them, so we didn't go out and do anything because of the roads. They did play outside, and we got like hot chocolate and stuff like that, but we didn't like go to Chuck E. Cheese. We didn't go do an experience at a store or drive to a location. So that is what the month of November is looking like. It is a total of $5,674.38 for expenses for the month. That's not a typical month, because if I show you October's spending really quick, it's a little less, $5,393.84. But the biggest 2 categories are these 2. So bills and variables are the biggest spending by far. The rest of it just kind of gets lumped in there, but we try. So I hope you guys had a really good month of November and are doing great for December so far, and you have your goal set out and you have a plan in place. If you don't, I highly suggest you get that started. I just filled out all my workbook yesterday or 2 days ago. I did it on Sunday, and I have that all set. My goal is to build up the emergency fund. I have $229 and then $143.12. So I want to get that built up to $1,000 in the month of December, and I want to pay for Christmas without going into debt or adding more to my debt pile. So let me know what your goals are for December in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.